This the Rams are good. It's going to be difficult. Seattle is good, so you can't lose too much ground here. I really like the Colts. I really like the Colts because it's not. When the team needs a goal, he will shut it down when the team.
Boing. What up? What up? Not bad. I'm trying a new protein drink. Hope everyone had a good weekend. I myself did. Monday morning, Buddhist priest. There I was completely wasted, out of work and down. All this time is so frustrated as I drift from town to town. Feeling like nobody cares if I live or die. So I might as well begin to put some action in my life. Yes, the Don Fry interview was great. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow, let alone for Halloween, so I don't know yet. Don Fry was the best, is the best. He's still alive. So, by the way, I have a new policy in here for the trolls. If you troll me, that's fine. But it's just the Kevin, can you fly, Bobby? Oh, shit, I must know who that is. Terrence, no! But for the trolls in the stream, you gotta super chat me to insult me. It's the Kevin Brennan business model. I'm taking back my power. Hello, Mr. Crumbo. What's your man advice for? Well, I mean, there's many things to give advice on. I see we have a RoboCop fan in the house. Bitches leave in 20. I don't even know what you're saying, bruv. Yeah, we don't spam in here, only weenies. Brother, I'm in too good of a mood, Mr. Certified, for you to ruin it. So move on to the next stream, brother. But before you leave, hit the subscribe button, bitch. I mean, my worldly advice, you got to give me a topic. Well, it's a open-ended question, to be honest with you, Mr. Puff. Yeah, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. I mean, there's some female advice, there's business advice, there's grooming advice, there's fitness advice. Okay, then never mind. Hit the subscribe button while you're at it. All good, baby. Making money, well, I don't know what you do for a living or what you want to do for a living, but in my world, I'm a stand-up comic. I'm a voiceover actor, and I face a lot of rejection in both worlds. And my advice is to just simply keep going, man. Don't listen to anyone who's not better off than you are. And, you know, like if Russell Peters, who's probably the most famous comic in the world, gives me advice on a joke, I'm going to listen to him. But if a open mic level comic gives me advice on a joke, I'm probably not going to listen to him. So I'm straight edge, Ley Lion. I'm straight edge. Come on, Sal. The Tigers are playing Detroit tonight. I never miss a game. So let me see here right now. I've been doing comedy for 25 years, bro. I don't think you're going to tell me how it works. When your name is on the front of the wall at the Comedy Store, then you can tell me how it works. When you close out every Saturday night in the main room, which is the most hallowed stage in the world, which I did last night, I'll do it this week, the week after that, then you can tell me how comedy works. You pay me to say something funny, bitch. You know, I'm going to do you a favor, King. I'm going to go online right now and see who's live, and I'm going to direct you to another stream. All right? Not many people would do that. Let's see who's on right now. No one from the Dabbleverse is on right now. That's too bad. You seem like a Dabbleverse kind of guy. So, I am a funny guy. When you're at the Comedy Store, then you can give me comedy advice or insult me in my comedy. I don't know who that is, to be honest with you. What up, Mr. Alina? My set was great, and it was a tough crowd. I mean, most of the comics before me were bombing, and the comic before me tried to end on a Charlie Kirk joke, which, let's just say, I had a lot of work to do as soon as I walked on stage. That is my dog. My dog is 15 years old. And that's just the way it is. I never watched the show. I don't know. I wasn't listening, but let me just say this. The crowd did not like it. And then he brings me up. And so I kind of had to, he's 15, to be honest with you. She has a partially collapsed trachea with some fluid in the lungs and all that stuff. So I give her medicine and whatnot. And, she just coughs from time to time. So that is not my girlfriend. I don't have a girlfriend. Yeah, so you got, senior dogs or, Yeah, but she's not, like, dying. Like, she's not in pain. She is, she's 15. So vet bills are rough. And they really try and fucking milk you, to be honest with you. I had a dog, the dog before this one, a little Japanese chin, and she had a heart murmur. And, she basically would have these miniature strokes every 2 days. And, like, the doctors literally wanted me to give her, like, 8 different kinds of medication. I was like, fuck that. I mean, everyone's different. I wasn't going to torture my dog with 8 different medications. Okay, King, I have a rule in here that everyone gets 3 chances to be funny. And I think it's safe to say that you are 0 for 1. So I don't speak Arabic, brother, so I don't know what you're saying. You could be insulting me. You could be whatever, but you're 0 for 1, King, 0 for 1. Take your time, though. Don't get out a joke right away. Like, you need to relax, take a deep breath, and go for your second kick of the can, as they say. As you can see, I engage with the trolls. Just take a deep breath, it's all good. Yeah, I mean, if I get one more message from that guy, he's gone. I don't care if you're Arabic or not. This is a fun stream, man. This isn't like, one of the regular streams that you guys are used to watching. You know, it's a stream of consciousness. My dog is a rescue, and it's a great dog. So, are you from the West Coast? I am. I'm from West Hollywood. No, I don't. I don't do a 360 cost $20. Sorry, my man. Well, he might be Hamas. I don't know. Maybe he's Hezbollah. No one's deep throating anything. For the 5th time, my dog has a collapsed trachea. Why are you single, funny guy? Well, let's not confuse being single with being without women. Trust me on that one. But you know, it's tough to, you know, I'm tough to date. You know, I'm a working comic. I'm a working voiceover actor. So I know who the Rizzler is. I watch AEW wrestling. I don't really like those guys. Okay, well, King, you're definitely 0 for 2. So you better take a step back, take 5 minutes off the stream and come back. Just relax, get some water, and then you got one more chance to be funny. And if you're not, I'm going to put you in timeout for 24 hours. It's just the rules. Well, the problem with rescues really is you don't know their background. So you have to be careful and, you know, like I know that my dog was abused in some capacity, probably with water because she's petrified of water. So I mean, my favorite wrestler was like Nikita Koloff, Ultimate Warrior. You know, I'm trying to think of I like MJF, I like Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay. Probably my favorite wrestler right now is Kazuchika Okada. I am the father and Tyler, the creators of the Jellies. So if you watch cartoons, you can see me on Adult Swim, the Cartoon Network, or HBO Max. So my favorite finisher of all time? Probably the Rainmaker by Okada. Yes, certified. Thank you. Hit the subscription button if you don't mind. I would very much appreciate that. It's always a pleasure having a new fan. I tried the AEW game. It was horrible, man. I mean, you guys know I am an AEW mark. But fuck, that video game was awful. So, I mean, they're definitely a step behind WWE in production, which is weird because they have just as much money as the WWE. I mean, Tony Khan's father is a billionaire many times over. So, I mean, Vince McMahon's a billionaire on paper. Tony Khan's dad is a billionaire in the banking world. Yeah, I've never played any WWE wrestling games, so I can't critique them or not. But, well, you know, don't change, man. If you're gay, you're gay. I almost bought a pair of leather shorts off of Nike.com. They have some leather Jordans which are pretty cool. But I've yet to purchase a pair of leather shorts. I don't know when I would wear them, to be honest with you. But I like the thigh-high boots Okada wears. Look up Okada. Well, I mean, I'm not a religious person, so do I eat my boogers? No, I don't. We got some interesting trolls in here. That is for sure. Well, good for you. Good for you. I don't know what nutritional value boogers add. I'm going to assume not much, if any. But thank you for sharing that. And thank you for subscribing to me. I appreciate that. I hit the like button with a tip, just the tip. I love it. I don't think so. I've been in the jellies on Adult Swim. I've been on Roast Battle on Comedy Central, Season 1. I was on the Showtime show I'm Dying Up Here. I was in Real Rob on Netflix for a couple episodes. And a few other shows. No, I don't really watch Rogan, you know. And I definitely wouldn't watch anything with Brian Callen in it. So I like Joe. Joe's cool to me, but I'm not a fan of Brian Callen in any capacity. So let me put it this way: there's a reason Callen left Hollywood, or I should say, Hollywood left him. But I don't want to talk about him. He's gross. They're all gross in this business. But, you know, that's just the way it is. Rogan, you know, you got to give it to him. He's helped a lot of comics, man. And you might not like the comics he helps, but he's helped a lot of stand-up comics. So, well, I mean, I think as long as the dog, or I'm assuming it was a dog, as long as it's well behaved. Mini Jim, this shirt is as clean as you can get. It's called Vintage. Look into it. What up, Liam Watts? We got a lot of new people in here tonight. And I hope you new people are hitting the subscribe button so you can keep up with my shenanigans. I appreciate it. I'm just trying to win on YouTube, one fan at a time. Message held for review. These are always fun. We don't do that kind of talking here, man. I'm not going to show that comment, you pervert. A lot of gay people in here tonight. I love it. If I was Adam Carolla in disguise, I would have a lot more than 16 people in here. That's a fact, Jack. But there's nothing wrong with Adam Carolla. I'm a big fan. And I've been on his podcast. If you listen to podcasts, I've been on Adam Carolla's. I've been a Felicia Gillespie in the house, the hottest girl in the Dabbleverse. I should take this shirt off. It is moist in California. So I hope one day to make your acquaintance, Felicia, in person. And is Joey Diaz as slimy as he sounds? No, Joey's a great guy. Who hasn't been on this podcast here? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't listen to other people's podcasts, to be honest with you. So I don't know how to answer that question. How's Joe Rogan been? I don't know. I haven't seen him in about a year. Last time I saw him was when I did the Mothership. I did quite well that evening. I was one of the few comics who gets to play the big boy room his first time there. Apparently, you're not really allowed to play there. You have to start off in the smaller room, but I got to play the big room, and I haven't seen him since, to be honest with you. Um, well, I mean, there's many more people worse than Joey in comedy in terms of Harvey Weinstein stuff. Yeah, I mean, Callan was creepy with every girlfriend I've had. And, he had his own set of. I mean, this could be a 7-hour podcast if I start going over creeps in comedy. You got to do your own research on that part. It only puts me in a bad mood when I talk about them. So look up stand-up comic allegations, and you'll get your answer there. 100% it is. I mean, most good comics are narcissists. Even the nice ones, you have to be. I mean, because stand-up comedy, you're up there by yourself. So, in some sense, it has to be about you. Shab is not a stand-up comic. So, yeah, I mean, Harvey Weinstein had a lot of essays in his background. I don't think Joey has. But I don't know. Like, I don't, like, Joey's been good to me. That's all I can tell you. So, is Carrot Top a comedian? Fuck yeah, he's a comedian. He's a prop comic. But, prop comedy is very hard to write the jokes for. So, it might not be comedy to you or might not be a style of comedy that you like, but it's definitely comedy to me. Who's the most interesting person you've met? I mean, in or out of stand-up comedy, I would say the most interesting person I met, and there was recently a documentary about him on CNN, was the Billionaire Boys Club founder, Joe Hunt. Look up Joe Hunt. He was an investor who scammed people out of money, and then another investor scammed him out of money. And if you believe the government, Joe Hunt had this person killed, but they never found the body. So a lot of people think this investor faked his own death, and Joe Hunt is still in prison. But it's not. This isn't the outdoor patio at Porky's. Norm Macdonald is great. Thank you, Bomb Squad. I appreciate that. I try and maintain. Adam Sandler. I've met Adam Sandler. I've had lunch with Adam Sandler. Thoughts on Maron shitting on it? That's Mark's style, I mean, and, I don't think Mark and Rogan have really probably ever gotten along. I think Mark made fun of Hinchcliffe and Rogan and basically the whole Austin scene. I mean, you take a show like Kill Tony, and that's everything that's wrong about comedy to Mark Maron. But Mark's kind of bitter, and I don't know why. I'm a deeply closeted homosexual. That's fine. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if my stream is the place to come out, though. Have you ever watched Norm Macdonald live? Yes, I was one day. I love Super Dave. You look delicious, babe. Keep pushing forward. I wish I had a girl tell me that, but I'll take the compliment. Well, I don't think Kill Tony's good for stand-up comedy. I think it's good. I understand why it's popular. It's basically this generation's Gong Show. And I think the sad thing is I don't think a lot of these people realize that they're the joke. So like William Montgomery, David Lucas, Hans Kim, and whoever else is the new versions of those guys, they don't realize people don't think you're funny. You guys are the punchline. So Tony has the biggest ego of all time. You might be right on that. What up, homeboy? Earl, I have an important message to share with you. Please lend me your ear. That scares me. I can, well, your mom told me I was an innie. That was a slobber knocker. I was a Steeler man. I was disappointed in how the Steelers performed today. Fuck. We don't do the Brendan Schaub talking here. You can say fuck. Um, um, well, your mom didn't think so, Dave. Uh, I don't know. I have no idea what Tony is or isn't. Um, I think the problem, though, and it'll be interesting to see how Cam Patterson performs on SNL because now he's not around William Montgomery and Hans Kim and David Lucas. He's in a writer's room with Emmy nominated and Emmy winning writers. So the step up in competition is going to be big for him. So I don't know how he'll handle it. He might handle it fine, but he's in the big leagues now. So this is not doing 1 minute of comedy and getting zinged on by Tony and his three famous judges or whatever. So yeah, I met him one night at the Comedy Store. He went on about 2 in the morning. Um, well, yeah, I mean, he's going to have to change his style for sure. Did you watch the Nate Bargatze? I did not. I did not. Hans Kim is so funny. I forgot to laugh every time. I mean, I don't find it funny. I mean, I think a lot of these Kill Tony comics are funny for about a minute. And then when you see them do a 5, 10, 15 plus minute set, it's not as good. Because you have to understand that, when you're on Kill Tony, he sells out. I don't know if he's a sellout. You've got Tony, you've got Red Band, you've got a soundboard filled with 10,000 sound effects. You've got a band, you've got three famous judges. That's a lot of band-aids to cover for you. But, when you're, say, headlining the Comedy Zone in Jacksonville and you start bombing, you don't have Tony, you don't have the sound effects, you don't have Red Band. You're up there by yourself, and you got to do an hour. And even if you have a good 10 minutes, you're going to be so fucking scared up there. You're going to do those 10 minutes in about 4 minutes. And you're going to look up at the clock because at the Comedy Zone in Jacksonville, they have like an NBA shot clock in the back of the room so the comic knows how much time they're at. You're going to look up at that clock and go, fuck, I got another 54 minutes up here. Good luck. I don't think Bill Burr is a sellout. I mean, he's gotten bigger, but I don't think sometimes when you get bigger, you're a sellout. I don't know much about Ralph. Um, um, well, Buddhist, I don't know much about the relationship, so I don't know who Sam Hyde is. Is Tim Dillon? I don't know if Tim is straight or gay. I don't really care, to be honest with you. I mean, a lot of people don't think he's gay, but who cares? I mean, crowds love him, man. So, is Bill Burr? Well, I mean, I think the more money you make, the more woke you become. Have you eaten a human before? It's the second time you've asked, bro. You got to be funny in my stream, or I got to cut you loose. I mean, I'm sure there'll be a lot of bad jokes tomorrow about Charlie Kirk, just shock effect jokes. They won't be funny, but that crowd wants that. So, no, I don't know Sam Hyde. Listen, there's 1,000 comics in the world. I don't know them all. Um, I mean, I hear Timmy No Breaks is funny, but once again, he's funny for about a minute. Can he do an hour? I don't know. Maybe he can. I don't know much about Timmy No Breaks. So I do know Mark Norman. What are you swigging on? Just a protein drink. Mark's great. The longest set I've done 2 hours before. I typically do 40 minutes to an hour every Saturday night at the Comedy Store. I cannot, RJ. I'd have to see what you look like first. Well, no, I don't do 2 hours a lot. It was just a one-off. It was a pretty full room at a pizza parlor in Redondo Beach, but it was packed. And intro music for me is Judas Priest, "Living After Midnight." Living after midnight, rocking till the dawn. Love you till the morning, and I'm gone. I'm gone. I took the city around at 1 a.m. I was loaded. You get the picture. I love Pepsi, but no, but you got to be good at crowd work, because if you're not good at, I think he took my place. I mean, I don't like Bill Maher as a comic, but like he just seems awfully better. Uh, and you know, but that's the problem with Kill Tony comics, in my opinion, is a lot of them don't have 10 minutes. But because they're going to get popular on the show, they're going to be asking. I had a friend of mine. She books major comedy clubs in the South. And she was like, "Earl, I won't book a comic who doesn't have 100,000 followers or less." So, well, I mean, you have to, um, you could sit there and say, "Okay, where are you from?" I'm from, Decatur, Alabama. Okay, well, you better have a joke about the Deep South. Or, you're just going to sit there and go, "Okay, cool." Crowd work's a skill. I'm pretty good at it, but I would say the two best crowd work comics by far are Rick Ingram and Ian Bagg. Ralphie May was very good. Well, I'd love to see what you look like, bro. How do you feel about Aaron Rodgers' play after week 2? I mean, he definitely slowed down. He's got the arm strength. I mean, there was a couple drops today by Metcalf that, were tough catches, but catchable for him. So, the offensive line looks a little wonky. I mean, he's not very mobile anymore, especially after the torn Achilles. So, I still think he has something left. Um, okay, I'm not sure what that means. TM. Well, that's the thing, though, and it goes back to, um, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but I think the Kill Tony comics, there was 2 Kill Tony comics who recently did the Comedy Store. One did Potluck. Now, Potluck is basically the open mic for comics trying to get in at the Comedy Store. And it's 3 minutes. And this person who did Potluck is big on Kill Tony. Like, literally, probably gets headlining work because they are one of the more popular people. And, we all have a bad set. So I'm not going to judge this person on the one set that I saw. But you could tell that he's conditioned to do comedy in a 1 minute chunk, because at about the minute and a half mark, where he still had a minute and a half left, he was like looking around kind of nervously, basically saying to the crowd, "How much time do I have left?" And it did not go well. And then you had someone else who's newly popular in the main room, and they got a 5 minute guest set. I'm going to assume Tony arranged it, but I don't know that. And you could tell, once again, at about the minute and a half, 2 minute mark, this person was fucking lost. Because there's no band on stage with him. There's no Tony. There's no guest. There's no sound effects. There's no red band. It's be funny. And, 5 minutes is not a long time. But it can seem like 5 fucking hours if you're not going well. So, I'm not going to say who they were, just because, listen, I've had bad sets, so I would hate for someone to judge me if it was just they saw me that one set and said, "This guy sucks." So, I don't find Hans funny at all, but like, he's a nice guy. It's just, once again, to me, a good comic. Um, you know, you've. I mean, to me, a good comic is the total package: good writer, good stage presence, good performance. And you put those Kill Tony comics on a Comedy Store lineup, I don't think any of them would do well. Now I'm talking, you make Hans Kim a paid regular, and if Hans Kim went up in the, and once again, I like Hans. This is not like a slam on him as a person. If you were to put Hans in that crowd I was in last night, it would not have been pretty. Because a lot of these comics don't have any plan B or plan C's. It's like you do the joke, you hope it gets a laugh, and if it doesn't, you're in trouble. And this crowd last night at the Comedy Store was tough. I mean, most of the comics were bombing. And, you know, I'm not going to say I was killing, but I definitely did the best out of the comics because, you know, I've got a plan B. I say, okay, I'm going to do this joke about O.J. Simpson. If that doesn't work, I'm going to go into a Michael Jackson joke, which is hacky, but I know it works. If that joke doesn't work, I'm going to go into the French pole vaulter with a 9-inch dick joke. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to go here. So I don't know where Daniel Tosh is. Well, I don't know Geese if I'm definitely not a top 10 comic of all time, but how's Teeb doing these days? I mean, Teeb is, I think he's in Chicago now. I haven't seen him in a few years. I mean, since the pandemic, pretty much. But yeah, he's very funny. I did not, I mean, I don't remember much about the mothership in terms of the pictures I saw. But, you know, and that's what I tell a lot of young comics. You know, it's like, you know, like who, now this is more West Coast based, but, or I guess you could say comics who want to be past at the mothership, but it's like, if you want to be past at the Comedy Store, you have to follow, like, let me go on Instagram and look at my story from last night and check out the lineup that I was on. I mean, it's not just about being funny at the Comedy Store. Well, I appreciate that, Geese, very much. I mean, I try. There's very few comics who will outwork me. Not that being hardworking means anything, but so let's log into my account and we'll check out the lineup. Because when people ask me if they're good enough to be a paid regular at the Comedy Store, it's like 69839. And we got a code here. You know, it's not just about being funny. It's can you follow 7 funny comics? That's the kicker. And you're following, you know, like I've had to follow Steph Tolov, and, you know, here she is killing about 15 minutes about fucking dudes and her big pussy, and, you know, it's not easy. So, you know, it's the same thing at the mothership. You know, you're following, you know, Hinchcliffe, whether you like him or not. He's a good performer. You know, you're following Brian Holtzman. You're following, you know, Matt Edgar. All right, let's check out the lineup last night at the Comedy Store, just to show you the strength of the lineups. Of course, my Wi-Fi is not the best, but okay, here we go. Well, I think that the lineup is not there. Let's see. Let me pull up an old lineup from, well, I can't see the lineup, so, but, you know, you're following, everyone's on TV at the Comedy Store. You know, one lineup, I mean, last night, I had to follow Willie Simon. You know, he was just at Montreal just for laughs. And Kelly Ryan was at Just for Laughs, and I think Steph Tolev was on the lineup last night. She's was had a gala at Just for Laughs, so it's a big step up into the big leagues when you start playing major comedy clubs. Um, he is becoming more. I mean, listen, when you start making the money Burr makes, you're gonna be a little more. It's like Howard Stern. To be honest with you. Um, and a big buddy joke. Oh, would you accept being booked? And no, I would not. Yes, they are something else. I'll give you that. Well, he's not as hungry as he used to be, but can you blame him though? I mean, when you start making the kind of money Bill Burr makes, and you're being flown around the world on private jets, you're going to lose your edge. I probably would too, to be honest with you, because you lose your hunger. How much cocaine are you on? I don't do drugs, man. I'm straight edge, baby. Um, yeah, I mean, it's hard to be relatable when you're flying on private jets to play a sold out theater. Most people will never be in that position. That's not putting anyone in the stream down or anyone in the world down, but, look at Matt Rife. I mean, Matt Rife can play anywhere in the world, so I don't think he's going to maintain that hunger that he used to have. I mean, I knew Matt when he couldn't get booked. He didn't get on at Potluck at the Comedy Store. No, I'm not on the show. This is it's a new protein drink. I mean, I don't know if I'm loving it, to be honest with you. It's by but no caffeine. So, um, you know, acting in Star Wars. But I mean, who would turn down acting in Star Wars? There's not a single person in this fucking stream who would turn down acting in Star Wars. Like I would too. Someone said, "Hey, you want to be in the Mandalorian? You can be Chewbacca's, like, I don't know, prison guard handler or whatever." Yeah, fuck yeah, I'll do it. So no, you know me, Buddhist priest. I'm straight edge, baby. I don't like the new Star Wars. I still think the first three are the best, especially the first one. Although it was long as fuck and a little plotting at times. I mean, Darth Vader is the greatest screen villain ever. Like, there's no one who comes close, man. This Chelsea, I don't know what Chelsea Handler does, to be honest with you. What do you think about Charlie Kirk? I mean, he was definitely a divisive figure. I mean, there's no denying that. I had never heard of him, to be honest with you, and I'm pretty politically savvy. I might not talk about politics a lot, but when my friend messaged me and said, "Hey, they assassinated Charlie Kirk," I literally said to her, "Who's that?" So, it's no, Taylor is actually always been very. Excuse me, this is lightly carbonated. No, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be dismissive. I don't really follow politics a lot, so I don't know the. I mean, I think he would be classified as like a periphery player in the game. I mean, certainly had a large following, but I had never heard of him, to be honest with you. So, you know, um, yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily believe. I don't know all his views and stances, but I think that I like the gimmick he had of basically debating college kids, but I'd like to. I would have liked to have seen him debate more substantial people, like doing what he does is kind of like what Jimmy Carr does, where Jimmy Carr invites people to heckle him in the crowd. Because Jimmy Carr knows he's the funniest person in the room. Now, when me and Jimmy Carr roast battled on television, there's a different story there, because I was his equal in terms of roasting. So I would have liked to have seen Charlie Kirk debate, substantial Democrats instead of just young kids. Um, so, you know, But you know, it's sad. I mean, he's got a wife and 2 kids. I've never met Katie Seagal, to be honest with you. Uh, Funny, probably Norm Macdonald, no doubt about that. I mean, Norm was. I saw him walk into the Comedy Store at about 2 a.m. one day, Wednesday. There's no one there, and he asked if he could go on, and so all the employees came in the room, probably about 10 of us, and he was fucking killing, man. Like, I mean, there's doing well and there's killing. He was even beyond killing. So, I mean, you know, I don't care if someone has opposite political views of me. It's a sad story, you know. It just, um, you know, I mean, and of course, I watched the unedited video. You know, I had to see it, and you know, I mean, the only good thing is I don't think he felt it. Like he died pretty instantly. I mean, it's not good, but you know, um, supposedly being shot. Team Jesus. This isn't the Alex Jones network, so I don't think this was a false flag operation. If that's what you're implying. Yeah, I'm going to do some more research on him. I mean, really, I don't know much about him. I mean, I've seen a couple of his, I guess you'd say, debates with college kids. So, um, you know, he seemed to be like the new conservative darling. Like, I think he, if he would have lived, would have been the new Rush Limbaugh. Good looking guy. And, you know, very good orator. But unfortunately, um, you know, there's a lot of wingnuts out there on both parties, and you know, just it's sad. You know, it's really the only way to say it. South Park, they go for it. I am not saying Rush Limbaugh was attractive, but I'm saying that he probably would have been like a better looking Rush Limbaugh. Like, you know, he would have been huge in the because I think people are even Republicans or people on the right, whatever you want to call them, they're sickening of you know the Sean Hannitys and you know the people of that nature, and he was a rising star for sure. Like, I mean, he probably would have ran for president one day. So, um, you know, just you know, it's a bummer, man. And I would say if it was a Democrat who was taken out, so yeah, I love Russell Peters. Russell is everything that's right about stand-up comedy. He gives back. He's successful, but he's grounded, and he just gets it. So I think he's on that Saudi Arabia comedy thing. I mean, I wouldn't have gone. I mean, I wasn't invited in the first place, to be brutally honest with you. But the second I saw Bill Cosby's name, I'd be like, I'm out. Um, so, I mean, it'll be interesting to see who takes his place. I mean, I'll assume Ben Shapiro. Yes, Russell Peters is Indian, but I think he was born in Canada or something. So he is very, very popular in Canada. I didn't say I didn't like Brendan Schaub. Someone asked me if he was a comic. He's not a stand-up comic. So he tried, but you know, comedy's tough, man. Like, you know, you'd think Schaub would have been better at it because you know he's used to performing in front of a lot of people, but you know, it's tough, man. You know, stand-up is no joke, and he did not put the work into being a good comic. So, you know, he didn't go to open mics, he didn't practice. He was lucky enough to be in with Joe, and Joe would just put him on his shows, and they're a pretty friendly audience towards Brendan. But you know, the second Brendan would get out of those shows, it was not pretty. So the whole Austin comedy scene sucks. Uh, I mean, I did it once. Put it this way, once was enough for me, and you know, if I never go back there, I'll be all right. And to be honest with you, they'll be okay too. Like, one comic does not make a scene. You know, I had a better time at Red Band's Club than I did the Mothership. And I'll say this: Joe was very nice to me. And when I walked into the green room, he got up, gave me a big hug, said, "You need anything? Let me know." He bought me dinner. But there's so many people up Joe's ass there that I just felt like a dog waiting for a bone from its owner. I'm like, I'm good, man. I'm good. So, um, okay, I don't know what these last few questions are. Yeah, I mean, what happened to the fourth guy in Impractical Jokers? Didn't he get Me Too'd or something? Um, listen, I don't hate anyone's fame. I mean, I actually admire Hinchcliffe. Because if you really think about the Hinchcliffe story, he puts out a special called One Shot. It wasn't favorably reviewed. That's not talking poorly about it. It's just most people didn't like it. And, I think Netflix pulled it off the network. Now you would think, wow, he'll never work for Netflix again. And now he's the darling of the network. So, I mean, I admire his persistence. Um, well, I think the fourth Impractical Joker got Me Too'd or something. So that's why it's only three of them now. But I will say that the people who are in with Rogan, good for them. I don't hate on them. It was too late for me. I mean, I went in there in the green room, and there's like 10 people in there, all sucking Joe's weenie, and it's just like, okay, like I just didn't have a lot to say. That's pretty funny. Flavor of love, youth. I don't know what Tony is or isn't. I mean, is it true that Rogan has a hog on him? That I don't know either. I mean, some of your guys' questions, boy. Uh, well, I mean, I think the Austin comedy scene. Here's the thing, though: the crowds are super hot. I mean, the one show I did at the Mothership, I kind of wish I was taping it because I just walked out there and I got an applause break. I mean, it was an incredibly easy room. So I think the comics are lazy because anything they say is going to get a laugh, especially if you're one of Rogan's boys or Hinchcliffe's boys. You're just going to be treated like you're probably a better comic than you are. But, I don't hate on those guys for that. Joe and Tony and crew are pushing someone's narrative. I don't listen to any of them enough to know that or not, to be honest with you. Um, I was speaking metaphorically. There was literally 10 comics in the green room when I walked in, and there was a hierarchy of who could talk first and second and third and fourth. So I literally was like the 11th guy in the room, and I literally just sat in the corner and uh, read my phone. So, um, boy, you guys are fired up tonight. I know that's funny that I never said the Jellies was canceled. The Jellies wasn't canceled. Tyler just didn't want to do it anymore. But trust me on this one, if Tyler said tomorrow morning to Adult Swim, I want to do another season of the Jellies, I'd be in a recording booth by noon. So, yeah, I don't know who. I don't know why they would say I said it, but, you know, um, what are you going to do? I mean, it's too late for me to do anything about it at this point. but the ratings were good. I mean, for a cartoon, the ratings were good. You got to understand each episode was only 11 minutes, so it's not like you're going to get like Super Bowl ratings, but like it was a hit by cartoon standards. But I mean, I don't know who Rogan. I don't really talk to Rogan a lot, so I don't know who he has beef with. I would assume Mark Maron. They just seem like they're meant to not like each other. Um, so I'm trying to think. I mean, you could probably figure out, okay, who hasn't he had on this podcast, and probably not everyone who hasn't been on the podcast he has beef with, but the bigger names like a Leslie Jones, I would assume he's not a fan of. Stuff like that. Would you want to be booked on a show as a string fatherly type, like on the Jeff? Fuck yeah. I mean, voiceover work for me is very easy because my voice is so deep. I'm not asked to do anything but um, speak, basically. Like the guy who played my son. And I'll show you guys. I mean, I think some of you guys have seen this before, but I have a very nice. There is the Jellies mural I have in my house. So I'm the guy with the mustache. My son to my left is the great Phil Lamar. My daughter below is the great Kylo Kish. She's a rapper. And my wife is the lovely and talented AJ Johnson, a veteran actress. So I would love to be the dad on another cartoon. I would love to be on Rick and Morty. Um, but it's a very hard business. I mean, voiceover work is literally 100 times harder than stand-up comedy, and I never thought I'd say that. Like stand-up is brutal. Voiceover work, because here's the thing with voiceover work is, if you're a good stand-up comic, you're going to be booked somewhere every weekend. There's college gigs, there's club gigs. I mean, there's hundreds of comedy clubs. So if you're a really good comic, you will get one of those hundreds of gigs. But in the voiceover world, there's not hundreds of gigs. And my voice is so deep that I only go up against celebrities. I mean, every audition I go on, I'm going on, in the voiceover world, I'm going on against Dylan McDermott, Rob Riggle, James Earl Jones when he was alive. Now, James Earl Jones doesn't audition. He's offered the part. But if he passes on the part, then I get to audition for it. So I have to hope these celebrities are all busy doing films or TV shows, and then I have a good chance of getting it. So if you're a voice actor, you need a relevant voice people recognize for the big ones. Yeah, I mean, there's that. The Arby's, we've got the meats. But it's also my voice is different enough where I can, like the Arby's guy will probably never get another voiceover gig because he's always going to be the Arby's guy. So it's kind of, it's a tough one. Like the 7-Up guy, if you're old enough to remember the Uncola, his voice was so distinct that he was always going to be the 7-Up guy. So, we don't do the Jesus talking here. But we've got a few more minutes left. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Well, deep is a desirable, but well, Calrissian, did he survive? So, what's up, Face by Moons? We're just about to end the stream, baby. Yeah, but I'm talking before that, before Orlando Jones. So, it's tough, like, Dexter, you got to figure that, when Dexter walks into any audition, and he probably gets offered some things, he probably doesn't audition, but when his name gets brought up, it's like, oh, that's Dexter, man. We don't want him to walk into a scene and people go, that's Dexter, when you're trying to do something different. Like, I was recently at a meeting where the meeting was about me, but then afterwards they were talking about this action movie, and they showed me the list of names for the lead, and it was 100 names, and it was people you knew, people you kind of knew, and then people you had no idea who they were, and it was 100 big, like, Daniel Craig was one of the names, and one of the people there was like, yeah, but we don't want people to see Daniel Craig walk into a scene and go, oh, that's James Bond. So it's very similar to voiceover work. Like the Arby's guy probably couldn't have gotten the role in the Jellies because they don't want people to think, oh, that's the Arby's guy. So, it's, well, if you don't like what we're talking about, Mac, there's about 1,000 other streams you could listen to. He is bisexual. Well, there you go. I did not know Daniel Craig was bisexual. So, it's not a weird comment at all, Um, you know. I don't ban anyone unless you do the racist stuff. But when someone comments on the content of my stream, I just simply say, if you don't like what we talk about here, I'm not holding anyone prisoner. Yes, only love. God is love. God is love. So that is about the end of the stream, kids. I know when we get the Jesus freaks in here, it's probably time to hit the road, baby. But I'll stream tomorrow, I guess I should say today. And are you a Republican? I'm in the middle, baby, to be honest with you. Good night, Mac. Always a pleasure. Hit the like and subscribe button if you can, please. I am putting in the work, no doubt about that. Okay, well, that's cool that he's bisexual or whatever. Jesus loves everyone. I mean, I have a hard time believing some of that stuff. When you sit there and you say Jesus loves everyone, and then you see Charlie Kirk get murdered. Did Jesus not love Charlie Kirk, or was Jesus at lunch for that hour? We don't talk about Jesus. I do think Jesus might have been gay. I mean, think about it. He only hung out with 12 disciples, all dudes, and they kicked Mary Magdalene out from under the table. So that's a fact, Jack. Earl Skakel over and out.